Hello, comrades! Today I will speak about the election which will take place in France next week, next Sunday, and um, wait. Um, it will be. Um, and this is improvisation. So, first things which I would like to say that in France we don't have the campagne présidentielle. That nobody speak about election, how we like in normal time. Uh, Everybody speak about war in Ukraine, and there wasn't any big debate for all the candidates. Maybe firstly I will present the candidates which are registered for this election. So there are 12 candidates. Now, when you look into the sondage, the Macron, he is in the first place. And most interesting is the fight for the second place. It's fight between Marine Le Pen and Jean-Luc Mélenchon. And in this fight, Marine Le Pen and Jean-Luc Mélenchon, they are growing. They are growing. Manuel Macron, he lose his votes. Okay, so what I want to say. Firstly, maybe I said that there is not election. There is not the debate. The debate typical for the democratic countries are not have place in France. The Macron, he started his campaign a few weeks ago, and he all the time he present himself in the media like a president, not only president of the France but the leader of the European Union, and he don't have time, he don't want to lose his precious time to political fight in France. And when he, because it is the public television in France, which people are listening the orders of Macron, when they decided to make election in France, they prepared this debate not with 12 candidates but only with 8 candidates. So they don't invite 2 candidates of the Trotsky's organization, Nathalie Arthaud and Philippe Poudou. Wait. So they didn't invited 2 candidates of the extreme left, and also they didn't invite Nicolas Dupont-Aignan. He is, I can say, souverainist. He is the patriot, a little like. His origin is the right, but he speaks a little bit about the social issues. And also, they didn't invite Jean Lassalle. Okay. So we have this. Here is the Comrade Hellas, big fan of the battalion Azov and Nazis in Ukraine. Hello. It's a big shame that the people who are they are considering them like a leftist, like a communist. They they make publicity for this puppet of the American imperialism. But he wrote his Macron president. So I would like to say that I don't have the right to vote. I don't have right to vote because I am not a citoyen of the France. But if I have right to vote, I will vote anybody, but not Macron. I can support Jean-Luc Mélenchon. I can support Marine Le Pen. Anybody from this, no, not Valérie Pécresse. Not Valérie Pécresse, but Marine Le Pen or Jean-Luc Mélenchon, or even Eric Zemmour I can support, but never Emmanuel Macron. Because already I knew what he did in the last 5 years and what he presented in his program. For example, he presented that he will push the French population to work until 65 years old to make a pension. And Comrade Hellas here wrote, Le Pen, Zemmour, they are fascist. I think that everybody who support the battalion Azov is the fascist, and in this definition, Comrade Hellas is not comrade, but it is fascist Hellas. We need to say clearly that somebody who support the Azov battalion, this is the real fascist, and of course, if you you can see what they do Azov battalion now. What is these people who are there? But it is not the subject of the same of this stream. Here is somebody written, Zemmour wants the same thing. Yes, Zemmour is the same idiot like Macron, but Zemmour is a little better from the geopolitical point of view. Zemmour, he is against NATO, and he wants to be that the France will not be a member of NATO. So it's good news, especially today in the time when we have war in Ukraine. Which was provoked by the Anschluss. The people from NATO. I need to remember that in the time when the Cold War was finished, NATO will have only 14 countries. Now NATO is 29 countries. So the countries is doubled. Then the number of the countries which are the member of the NATO is doubled in these 30 years, and NATO was created in the time of the Cold War, and of course it was against Soviet Union, but the logic of the NATO is that it is the organization which need to protect the capitalism system. When the Cold War was finished, when the capitalism was introduced in the Eastern countries, when the capitalism was introduced in Poland, in all the Eastern Europe, in Ukraine, in Russia, it's without sense this NATO exists. And so of course it's the only sense of existing NATO. It is representing the interest of the American imperialism, especially today. We saw that NATO, it is organization when the American industrial military complex can send the military staff, and it is the market. It is the market that every member, every country of NATO in Europe have to buy the American stuff. Not only small countries, poor countries like Poland, like Romania, like Baltic states, like Belgium, but now also the Germany, one of the biggest producer of the military stuff. Also, they will buy the military stuff from USA, and also all these Europe countries will buy the the American gas. So everybody who, with a little logic, see that NATO it is organization only to protect the interest of the U.S. imperialism. Mm. Mm. Rebirth of communism. Putin and his far-right friends are the real fascists. Talk to me if you dare, and don't call me a fascist behind your screen. I think that it is without sense to speak with somebody who supports Battalion Azov. So if you want to speak with somebody, go to Mariupol and go there and say openly how you are courageous, that you are support Battalion Azov. But I I don't have I I I I think that it is not good to this channel to speak with people who support Battalion Azov. It's my who has wrote to me. Okay. NATO is 30 countries now. Yes, doesn't matter if he wants to leave NATO, if he still. Comrade Hellas asked when did I support Azov. In his channel, he published the video about the Battalion Azov, and and this we can find this video if you want. We can make a small publicity to Comrade Hellas. Слава Україні, героям слава. Where is what this? Yes. Oh, I can find this video. But not important. Here is. Here it is. As you see, we will have some. Here is the video. Here is the video about the Battalion Azov. So Battalion Azov. Oh, so for somebody who didn't know, this this flag here, the red and black, it is the flag of the Ukrainian fascist. Ukrainian fascists responsible for the many crimes, especially the crimes of the killing Jews in the Lvov in 1941, and also killing Polish population, more than 100,000 Polish population in Wołyń in 1943, but also a lot of crimes against the Soviet guerrilla in Ukraine. So this is this. So somebody who published the video about this guy is the he support this propaganda of the this fascist. Okay, I read the part, but I wanted to speak about the election. So maybe firstly I will present the candidates who are not very famous. I will start for the presenting the leftists. Here is maybe firstly I will present before I do this. I want to say that I have three things. I have one book. This is Program of Jean-Luc Mélenchon. It's only €3 if you want to buy. So it is in every library in France. You can buy it. They don't give it for this free. Mélenchon he explained that if he gave this for the population for free, nobody read it. And as you see, it is 150 pages. So I have this. I have this ecologue, Yannick Jadot. Here is the leaflet. It was free. Fabien Roussel, le programme of Fabien Roussel. He is the leader of the French Communist Party. But of course, the most important source of the information, it is television and the internet. Firstly, I will present you the candidate who is the last one in the sondage. The Nathalie Arthaud from the Lutte Ouvrière. Where is it? Okay. So, as you see, Lutte Ouvrière en langue française, it means workers fight. It's this organization. The name of this organization is the Union of the Communists. Union of the Communists, but this organization, Union of the Communists, is known because of the newspaper, which is every week, weekly news, every week, and Lutte Ouvrière. In last years, I was I was subscribed for this journal, so I have a lot of journal in my house. But I don't know. I stopped it 2 or 3 years ago when I started to make politic in Polish language. I didn't have time to read it in this French. Now, because I stopped this Polish, I stopped for a few months my activity in Polish language. I started again to read the French communist stuff. So Nathalie Arthaud, as you see, today in the 3 p.m. she will have the big meeting in Zenit in Paris. Zenit, it is a big place. I participated in one meeting like this 10 years ago. So it is very big thing. And today a lot of candidates have their last meeting. So Nathalie Arthaud, she choose have a meeting in Paris. But what I can say about maybe I will return to show you this. This is not actual. I couldn't find something actual from today. The most important things in the election now is the inflation. is the inflation. Because of this, when the discussion about election started few months ago, the most important subject was this Islam stuff. But when the war in Ukraine started, and when the prices of everything, especially prices of oil, and also now prices of food are starting to growing and growing, the leftist candidates like Jean-Luc Mélenchon starting to growing, and Zemmour, Valérie Pécresse, they have lower and lower. Macron, he's starting to panic, and because of this, 2 days ago, in first of April, French state now are give eight in Paris 18 centimes for the oil. So when oil was more than 2 euros a few days ago, now it is this 2 euros minus 18 centimes. It is less than 2 euros. But it is in Paris, it is 18 centimes. In the Guadeloupe, it is 15 centimes. You see that the Macron, he make all things to win election, and he pay this, because 18 centimes, if you want to make full car with oil, it is in my car it is 50 liters 50 liters 50, so 50 multiply by 18 centimeters, it is a lot of money. And it is 8 euros, I suppose. So every time when you are going to take your oil or essence, you will economize 18 centimes. It is until finish of July. But of course, it was decided by the Macron, because he is panic of the leftist candidates, especially Mélenchon. Okay, I will return to Nathalie Arthaud. So as you see, she is the candidate. She use all the time hammer and sickle, and it's from my Polish perspective, it is very interesting, very important that it is possible that in France, in the election, there are the candidates who have a hammer and sickle. But it is maybe one of the reasons why she was not invited in this debate. As you see here, you have 8 candidates, not 12 candidates. And the Nathalie Arthaud was not invited. But you need to understand that the French election system is really anti-democratic. In Poland, also we have the system which is anti-democratic, but in Poland, if you to be registered to the election, you need to have 100,000 I don't know how to say, signatures of the Polish citoyen. And I would like to present myself to the Polish election in 2025. And I think that it is possible for me make this 100,000 signatures. In French, it is another system. In French, you have to have 500 signatures, people who are already in the power in the regions, in the localities, and it is anti-democratic, because in France, this is all these people are already member of the ruling party, one of the party which is part of the system, and somebody who is new have a lot of problems to have this parrainage parrainage. It's in langue française. And it is why Anaskasi, for example, another leftist, he was not registered for this election. But so in this, there was only one debate in this campaign, and there was 8 candidates, but it was not debate. It was not normal debate that people are together and somebody can speak with another person. It is that it was 5 minutes for one candidate, 5 minutes for other candidates, 5 minutes for etc., etc. There was not this interaction between candidates. It is why it was decided by the Macron. So it is very funny that this European countries, when they accused, for example, I don't know, Putin, that Putin is the dictator. Okay, I can agree that the electoral system in Russia is not good, especially in the time when the Russian Communist Party is the victim of the oppression, which was in September last year in the big election. But the electoral system in France is also not democratic. How it is possible that you block leftist candidates, you don't give them this parrainage, and even if they have this parrainage like Nathalie Arthaud and Philippe Poutou, they are not invited to the media. They are not presented. Don't have any discussion. It is so we have election in France, but we don't have campaign. So there are the question is if Macron will win this election, if he is legitimate, because in democratic society you are legitimate because in the democratic election you discussed with other politicians, and after this the people decided. In France, we don't have this discussion. So I think that the worst enemy of the workers, of the poor people, is of course Emmanuel Macron, and I will be happy when Macron will lose. But for the workers, it's better Marine Le Pen or Jean-Luc Mélenchon or another people. It's my position. It's my position, which is already 5 years ago, where when I speak with French leftists, I was not agree with them, because when they say we need to be everybody against Marine Le Pen, I said, no. The most important enemy of the working class are the banksters, how we say, the people. And the Macron, all his decision, all his life, all his political activity, it is serving the bank, serving the rich, serving the French oligarchic system. And we can say that the French political system, it is real oligarchic system. It is system that when the people who are rich are real in power. It is difference between the French and the Russia. Why it is different? Because from the logic point of view, in Russia we don't have oligarch. In Russia we have people who are very, very rich, but the power is to the Putin. And if somebody say that Putin is the dictator, okay, I can agree with this. But if he is a dictator, it means that he has power, and he has power of everything. And if Putin have our power of everything, it means that it is not power for the rich people. The oligarchy, it is system when the rich people have power. It is country like Ukraine. It is country like France, when the rich people choose the politician. And it is the real power in Ukraine, it is Kolomoisky. Real power in France, it is rich people like, I don't know, Bernard Arnault, like Bolloré, like other oligarchy, because they are not only rich, but they have political power. In Russia, we have people who are rich, but if they want to make a political activity like Khodorkovsky and they are against government, Putin put them in jail. So they are only rich, okay, but they don't have political power. Political power in Russia is for Putin. Okay. Okay, Kamrat Halas wrote it. 500 signatures are a hinder, but it cannot be compared with dictatorial states like Russia, where elections are fraudulent. France is way more democratic than even countries like USA. In France, we have the situation when Macron, he have not political program. He don't have any political campaign, and because all the media which existed in France, the corporate media, and also the public, the French, the own state media like TF1, they support Macron. He will very probably won this election. It is totally without any democratic rules, and I can't imagine worse system. Of course, we don't have the difference between France and other countries is that the other countries, if somebody is against, they will beat them in his street, he is arrested. In France, they don't need to arrest somebody. In France, they don't invite you to they don't they don't register you like a candidate, and even if you are registered, you are never invited to this debate. And yes, and after all this discussion, which undemocratic system is less democratic, it's without sense. We need everybody who Kamrat Hellas, he came from Greece. It is so-called the country where the democracy was born, and the idea is that the people can discuss one of each other. In France, you don't have this discussion because everything is like the Macron, he wants to make a French state similar to the corporation, and in the corporation you have the totalitarian rule of the bourgeoisie, of the managerial, of the CEO and stuff like this. In corporation, you don't have democracy, and the state which won't build Macron, it is the undemocratic capitalistic corporate state, and it is why I am against it. I am against it because the decision which already he said that he will introduce in France, that he wants to liquidate the system of the pension, because if he said that you will have pension when you worked 45 years, and he said minimum age of retirement, it is 65. So if you started work in 20 years, and in these 20 years, next 45 years, all the time you worked, you never been employment, you never have a bullshit job and stuff like this. It is impossible in this normal capitalistic system today, because most of the people who are worked, they need to have a stash, they need to have another stuff. So 45 years normal job, you will have more than 70 years to have your retirement, and the poor people in France, they not even live 70 years, because it's the question that retirement, in which how many years, what is the age of the people who are living their life in normal condition of the health. For the workers, it is 63. I am not counting that somebody have, I don't know, in good shape in 63, 64, and after 10 years, 10 years he is in he's all the time ill in the hospital and stuff like this. In good shape for the workers, it is 63. And you need to work with Macron, you need to work until your death. So all your life you are giving money for this institution which have to give your pension when you were retired, when you will never be retired with Macron, because you will work all your life. And in the same time, when Macron said that he will to make longer, Mélenchon said that no, shorter, to 60 years. And it is possible. I know this example from the Polish election in 2015, when Duda he promised the same thing, and he realized the same thing. So it is one of the many reasons why I am against Macron in this election. Okay. Macron and Marine Le Pen have the same economical program. No. They don't have the same economical program. Macron, already when you see the question of the industry, Macron, he is only thinking about the interest of the corporation, and the interest of the corporation is to produce in countries where the salaries are lower in salary. So it is one of the reason why they are so determined to push to make Ukraine the member of the European Union. It is because the salaries in last years, the salaries in Poland and Romania are starting to growing, and so they are searching another places where when the salaries are low, and so it is the only reason why they are so determined to make Ukraine of the part of the European Union. And also they are very, very interesting to make all these Ukrainian refugees on Union European the cheap workers, which will be very, very exploited in European countries, especially with people like Macron. So they want new slaves. It's the origin of the slave system. It was always a war. Always, when you look for the history of the Roman Empire. In Roman Empire, when they need slaves, they make a war. And after war they have slaves. European Union and NATO are giving arms to Zelensky to continue this war, and because this war is continue, they have the hundred of thousands or million the new poor workers, which will be very, very exploited in European countries. Macron will win 5 more years. Le Pen, the fascists, will lose. Strong Macron, strong France, strong Europe. I think that if we define fascism like an undemocratic system, we need to say that yes, Macron, he is a fascist. The 5 years, how already the difference between fascism and Macronism is that the fascism was a mass movement. In Macron state, we have the dictator of one person who decided all things, and he is like a king. He is like a monarchy. It is presidential monarchy. But the reform which he make in the French police in the time of the Yellow Vest movement, that how that thousands of the French people who are protesting in the streets, they have brutal repression against them, brutal censorship in the internet, that all this reform that now there's it's much more easier for the states to make a repression against the opposition, and nobody speak about this. Nobody speak about this 1,000 people who are arrested in France in the Yellow Wave movement. Everybody, like Comrade Hellas, they are speaking about Navalny. They are speaking about the NGOs in Russia. Okay, maybe in Russia, yes, of course, they are repression against opposition. But in the France is the same thing, and nobody care, nobody speak. When in the time of the Yellow Wave movement, every week, every Sunday, more than 1 year, the French police beaten are make using all this stuff, the gas lacrimogene, this flashball, that so many French people are lose their eyes, lose their lives, lose their fingers, and stuff like this. Nobody speak about this, and it's and but strong. There is also the question of strong Europe. There will not be this. The question, the one of the it is finished of the strong Europe. It's finished. The European Union was created like a servant of the United States, but in the last years, when they existed strong economic cooperation between the European states, like France, like Germany, economic and also military cooperation with Russia, there was existed possibility that the European Union will be something different, will be something independent than the United States. And of course, from this perspective, it is not something which I hope that it will happen or not, but I only what I see that now the strong Europe, it's finished. It's finished. How you can build the strong Europe when for all this stuff like gas you have to pay 3 or 4 times more than you pay that you are obliged to buy something from United States, only because it is from United States. It is against logic of the capitalist system, because in the logic of the capitalist system it exists something like free trade, and in the free trade you choose something which is the cheapest, and the resources like gas and oil for the Europe are the cheapest in Russia, because of the geographic reason, and also because of all this infrastructure which was built in the last years. And how you want to build the strong Europe when you destroy the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2, when now the European countries like Lithuania and other Baltic states, they decided we will not have gas from Russia. Okay, nobody care. You can decide that you will not take gas from you can not buy gas, you cannot buy the mineral and other stuff. but you have to forget about the building the strong economy, and that's all. And that you will not build the strong Europe if you have to all these things have to buy from the United States, and these things will be 2, 3, or 4 times more expensive. And of course, all these ideas to build the strong military industrial system in Europe, it's finished. It's finished. Macron, he wanted to build the alternative from the American stuff. But now, when all the puppets of the U.S. imperialism decided to buy the American stuff, it's finished. It's finished. Europe is totally. The most important thing is the few days ago there was a meeting of the European countries, and this meeting of European countries was the leader of this meeting was Biden, was president of United States, who was the leader of and also another leader was Zelensky. Zelensky, who we are talking to in French parliament, he said, your corporation, French corporation, Leroy Merlin, Auchan, Decathlon, Total, you need to stop make business with Russia. So tell me why all the time we have war between Russia and Ukraine. Why all the time the Naftogaz Ukraine, all the time they take gas from Russia? If Zelensky are against the economic collaboration with Russia, in the first hour, first day of this war, he needs stop the Russian gas. But Zelensky, he don't want to stop the Russian gas. He wants to take money from Russia to the Naftogaz Ukraine, money from Russia. But in the same time, he are talking to every country in the world. You need to stop the economic relations with Russia. It's without sense. Okay. But I didn't finish to make this presentation. Okay, I will make another presentation. Wait. This is second candidate which I would like to present you. It's a Philippe Poutou. He, like Nathalie Arthaud, he was this is his third election. First time he was present himself in 2012, after 2017, and it is third time. So he is a member of New Anti-Capitalist Party. It is ex-Trotsky's party, Ligue de LCR, Ligue Communiste Révolutionnaire, Union of the Revolutionary Communists. It was a Trotsky's organization. Now it is New Anti-Capitalist Party. So one thing good which I can say about Poutou, that he was a worker. He was a worker in the Ford factory, which produced cars. It is one funny things. It is one funny things which I would like to say you about this election. Well, there are so many things that I have problem to remember all these things. So as you see, you have the 12 candidates here, 12 candidates, and few weeks ago they published how many money everybody of these candidates have. And Macron, who worked in Rothschild Bank 5 years ago, he has more than 3 million euros. 3 million euros. It was 5 years ago, and now when he published his money, it is he is the only Philippe Poutou have less money than Macron. Of course, it is Arnaque. It is Rothschild Gate. It's called here in France, because there are. It's impossible. It's impossible that Macron, 5 years he was president, and already all things which he eat, which he make transport, it's free for him. He take money from that he is president, and he lose all his money. Where is this money? That somebody who make a calculation said that he lose every day. He lose more than 1,200 euros. It's a minimum salary in France. So Macron, in 5 years of his presidency, he lose every day 1,200 euros. And it's good that Philippe Poutou is candidate, because if not, if Philippe Poutou is not presented in this election, Macron will be the the poorest candidates without any money, So it is one of the so there are two scandals now which Macron can lose this election. First scandal, it is Rothschild Gate. It is the question, where is the money of Macron? Because Macron, he participated in 2012 in the very big deal with Nestle, and because of this he earned a lot of money. But people who worked in this Rothschild Bank, in secret, they said that only few percent of this money are in France. Most of this money are in the paradise fiscal, like I don't know, Luxembourg and other countries like this. And now it is the question that the Macron, who is the leader of the state, he is the guy who are the criminal, because if you are taking your money because you don't want to pay taxes in France, you are a criminal. So the leader of the state is the criminal, and people in France are speaking about this. Second thing is the scandal of McKinsey Council, that in the same time when the Macronists they make this neoliberal agenda, that destruction of the state, that the people who are working to the state, they say, oh, we don't need these people, we need to kick them out. And in the same time, and they say we need to do this because it's take a lot of money. And in the same time, they are giving the job for the McKinsey Council, and this is the friends of the Emmanuel Macron. These people from the McKinsey Council, they worked for the Macron in his campaign 5 years ago, and they have a lot of money for from the state. But it is something very, very big, so I suggest you to read. Okay, I will come back to Philippe Poutou. As you see, it's here. So if you want more, if you want to now is the question if the Philippe Poutou is a Trotskyist, because this new party, anti-capitalist, it's something like a coalition. It's a coalition. It is why they changed their name from communist, LCR. It was Union of the Communist Revolutionary Communists, and they changed their name to anti-capitalism, and anti-capitalism it's something bigger than communism. So they in the theory they are not only Trotskyists, but they are also a lot of other peoples. But for me it is already the problem. If today we can all the time say that it is the Marxist organization, especially after the split with the Anas Kazib and his organization Révolution Permanente. Maybe I will show you also this organization. Mm, because these people were a member of the these people were a member of the NPA, but they decided to mm, mm, make. Oh, this is Anas Kazib. He also wanted to be present himself in the election, and so when the comrade Hellas said, "Oh, it is the France is a democratic system," I hope that the comrade Hellas will explain the Anas Kazib that France is very democratic system. Explain him why it is so democratic, that why you not was registered in France election, because he is a worker. Because he is a worker who are working in the train. Okay, oh, I see that there are some comments. This is some long discussion. Rebirth of communism. USA tries to destroy the European Union since the beginning. You know the true. Also, the reason you live in France is the EU. Le Pen wins. Migrants get expelled. Not. It's not so. The migrants are. There were Polish people in France before Poland became a member of the European Union, and there are a lot of migrants in France. We are not from European Union, so it is not so not so easy. But of course, it's one question: what is good for my interest, and second thing, what is good for the world. I am against this capitalist system, which is good for the Western European countries. France have a lot of money because they are stealing this money from ex-colonies in Africa. So I am in one side. of course, I am against French imperialism in Africa. But I knew that now, when the Macron, in the time of election, he introduced that state will pay money for the oil in will be cheaper. It is the money stealing from Africa. So. So in one side, I am happy about this, that I will pay less for the oil, and second thing, of course, I am against this imperialist system, which are they are stole money from the third world countries. Always a lot of money they steal from Poland. All this corporation, French corporation, which existed in Poland, they are not there for. They are not doing their charity job. They are going there to make money, and make money. It's mean using the 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 lowest salaries in Europe, or on one of the lowest. Poland, Romania, Bulgaria. We have competition. Which country will have the less the smallest salaries? Oh, there is a lot of. There are a lot of discussion. But I didn't finish the things which I wanted to say. Okay, so another candidate which I want to present you, I think that you already know him. It's him. It's Jean-Luc Mélenchon. As you see, I have his book, this program. It is in every library in Poland, in France now. You can buy it. It's only 3 euros. It's only 2 euros, and I am impressed of this book. Because I am impressed of this book, because 1 year ago I wrote a manifest of our party, Polish Workers' Party, and after we started to wrote together the program of the Polish Workers' Party, and it is complicated to write program of a party, because the manifest was easy, because it is only me who wrote this. So I think that there are some good things in this manifest, but also there was a lot of critics. So writing this manifest for me, it was, I don't know, 10 days or something like this. The discussion about program, it was 4 or 5 months. It was, we discussed about everything, a lot of commission, and it's first time decided what will be the commission, and after the members of commission, after that, okay, we have commission, but if we want to discuss about ecology, about salaries, about the geopolitical question, what is our position about this? And after, when we know what is our position, how to wrote this, how to wrote that people will understand that it will be easy, it will be not so long. So this program, it's I am there are also, of course, a lot of things which I am not agree, but I when in the future maybe I will write another program for the party. It's a base how to write a political program of the leftist organization. Of course, we can change, we can make it more radical, but it is something which is useful for me. There are some things interesting. There are some things very stupid. I give you some example how it is stupid. For example, in the page 28, they are talking about the République laïque. Une république laïque. La laïcité est le principe qui garantit la liberté, conscience, blablabla. Ils ont écrit all the small chapter about the laïcité in France, and they don't say nothing. They say nothing about the Islamization of the France. So I am disappointed about this. And they said about the biggest problem for the laicity in France, it is the Catholic Church, which I am not agree. I am here where I am living. I see that the most important danger is this in the Val-de-Marne department. Val-de-Marne, I think the religion which is dominant, it is Islam, and there is nothing about this. Of course, and also I am here the comrade Hellas. He wrote something about uh, about uh, about the nuclear energy. So Mélenchon, he's against nuclear energy, and Fabien Roussel, he supports nuclear energy. It's there is possibility that this guy in tomorrow or day after tomorrow he will stop his campaign and he will support Mélenchon. And if he support Mélenchon will say that the question of the nuclear energy will be decided in the referendum, because he is the leader of the Communist Party, he is the leader of the France Insoumise. But if Fabien Roussel he will stop his campaign, it's possible that the Mélenchon he will go to the second round. So I think that is 90% possible that he will, especially that 2 months after 2 months after the presidential election, there are the legislation election, and PCF will have a coalition with French Insoumise. So if somebody wants to have a money, we can have a hazard. We can bet this money. I am saying you that Fabien Roussel he will stop his campaign and he will support Mélenchon, because as you see here, it's it's not actual, because the difference between Mélenchon and Le Pen is, I think, a little 4%, and Fabien Roussel now he is 4%. It's this 4%. It's Mélenchon with Fabien Roussel. It's the support for the Marine Le Pen, and it is possible that the Mélenchon he will go to the second round. And in second round he has chance to win this election. Of course, he will change nothing, but I prefer that he will change nothing. That one more 5 years reform, neoliberal reform of Macron, which supports the French oligarchy system. Oh, Comrade Hellas, he don't know, he know nothing about the about the Africa state. There is something which is named the African franc. African franc. It is the currency in the African countries, ex-colonies of France, and this currency is produced in France. So 19 countries of Senegal, Mali, Chad, Niger, and other ex-colonies of the France, they have money which is produced in France, and it is the tool how the France are stealing money from Africa. Second question is the the French army is present in the Africa soil to defend the French companies, especially the companies of one of the biggest, richest guy in the France, Boloro. His name is Boloro. He possessed most of the media in France. Boloro, he pushed the Zemmour candidate, but the most important is the Areva, which is responsible for the nuclear energy in France. They are stealing the uranium from Chad, from Niger. They are stealing uranium from Niger. Yes, it's what I said. What about the CFA franc? How that work? Then it allows French control over former French colonies in Africa, French neocolonialism. Yes, of course, there is one of good news that a few weeks ago, French imperialism was kicked out from Mali, and also with help of the Russia troops, of the Wagner troops. It is one of the reasons why France is so angry against Russia, because this Russian militarists in Mali, they helped Mali to be independent, to kick out the French soldiers who were there more than who were there 10 years. 10 years they came there in the pretext to fighting with terrorism, but they are occupied Mali to protect the interest of the French corporation. Islamization of the France, as you said, is French right-wing propaganda. Maybe you should be more cautious. The only purpose of this campaign is to divide the people in false political divides. I am not agree that it is only the right wing propaganda. I can even say that more of the right wing people in France, they support Islamization. They support to have a good relation with Arabia Saudi and other countries like this. But I can't understand why, in the same time, these people, when the Taliban take power in Afghanistan, they are shouting, "Oh, it's we need to support the Afghan people, the Afghan refugees, because now that the Taliban in Afghanistan, they will create the something bad, blah blah blah." And when the similar people in France, they want to push the same Sharia law like in Taliban, it's good. It's good. We can't criticize. I am a Marxist, and the Marxist, it is tradition of the anti-clerical tradition. If you read Marx, you see that the religion, it is the tool of the rich, of the how to legitimize their power in the society. And it is not important. It is Catholic religion, it is Islamic religion, Buddhist religion. All religion is the same idea, that you have to be patient for the exploitation which is here in the heaven, in the earth, and after you will be happy in the heaven. And I am I am somebody who protect science, and that I protect the evolution theory, that we came from the monkeys and stuff like this. And I am against all this bullshit that there was a creation of the humankind, or if the I don't know, the earth in 7 days, blah blah blah. I am uh, and it is especially not good for the woman. It's very if some men are defending this religion, it is hypocritical, because you are not obliged to this sacrifice which need to have a woman in this religion. That somebody can say, no, you don't have right to the education, no, you don't have right to I don't know, visit your country. In Afghanistan now they decided that the woman can't go to another city without protection of the man. It's without any sense, and want. I don't have and it's in one thing. I am atheist, and I would like to live in a atheist society, without all this religious bullshit. It is my position that we need to promote the science, we need to promote the civilization, and religion was good in the Middle Ages. But now we have the modern society, and we need the modern answer for this. The place of the museum, the religion is the museum, not in the street. It's my position. And especially in the country where the people who are inspired by this religion, they organize the terrorist attacks. And the terrorist attacks in France, it is a very sad reality. It is hundreds of people who died because of this. Hundreds of people. In only in 13 November 2015, it was, I don't know, more than 200 people who died. But there was a lot of other terrorist attacks like this, and it's crazy. Yes, and I am internationalist because it's not normal that in the Muslim countries like Morocco, for example, the woman can go normally without hijab, and the many French women have to go with hijab. It's without sense. The Muslim countries are more how to say, are more modern than some suburbs in the France. For example, the reform of Atatürk in Turkey. Atatürk, when he make a reform in Turkey, he punished all these Muslim radicals to push their religious tradition. So the Turkey was a Muslim state, but it was like Muslim state. And I am not against. I am not. My vision of the religion is very similar of the vision of the Chinese Communist Party, and I think that it is very good. It is very good strategy which Chinese organized there. So so in one side, the Xinjiang is one of the place where is a lot of mosque built and it is tolerated, but there is no it is not accepted that in the mosque is spreaded the reactionary anti-state propaganda and stuff like this. Question: did Macron comment on France mercenaries, legionnaires' bodies found in the debris of helicopter shot down near Mariupol? Why did Macron call President Putin several times about Mariupol? I don't. I didn't heard that Macron comment this. So I can say about second thing, why so many times Macron he speak with Putin by telephone, because it is interesting. It is interesting that that Volodymyr Zelensky, when he spoke in the French Parliament, he said to the French corporation, Leroy Merlin, Auchan, Decathlon, Total, and others, you need have sanction against Russia. You need to have sanction against Russia. Already in some places, the French corporation was I don't want to say banned or stuff like this, but people are starting to talk to make something bad against the French corporation, and the French corporation is the biggest investor in Russia. So the Russian salaries who are worked for the French is the most important outsider investor. So there is a lot of economic interest between France and Russia. And I think that Macron and the French corporation don't want to go out from Russia. So they answered to the Zelensky, why you didn't stop the Russian gas? Because all the time the Russian gas are going by Ukraine, and the Naftogaz Ukraine take money from Russia. No. Give money to Russia. Naftogaz Ukraine give money to Russia. Take money and give money, because this Naftogaz, he take money for the transfer of the gas by Ukraine, gas who go to the Western countries, but also some of this gas stay in Ukraine, and it's Ukrainian who pay. So you see how the Zelensky, he is hypocrite. He wants that other corporation don't have trade with Russia, but when the Ukrainian corporation have trade with Russia, it's okay. So I think that it is this question. And also there is a lot of question of the military collaboration between France and Russia, because France, they sold weapon to Ukrainians, but France are selling weapon also to the Russia. There was a scandal that some of district to noctovisors, the equipment which is used to killing people in the night. It is not Russian equipment; it is French equipment using by the Russian army, and there are a lot of stuff like this. And the France have a lot of experience that in the time of the war they are selling arm to the both sides of the conflict. So no, the Macron, he is hypocrite, but also Macron, he wants to that the war will stop, because the biggest threat to the Macron is not Russia. The biggest threat to the Macron is USA. Is USA, because the USA, Macron, few months ago, he wanted to build the European army controlled by the France, because France have the biggest army in Europe. And it was the purpose of the Macron: build the European army, and also the French military industry with help of Germany will produce the very sophisticated armament for the European countries, and also to export, that it will be competition to the American stuff. And it's finished because of the Biden, he win this competition with Macron. And but the question of I don't want to speak a lot about war in Russia, because I don't understand the strategy of Russian. I don't know if somebody here understand the strategy. Maybe he explain me this strategy. I don't know why they now these Russia troops they are going out from Kyiv region. Why they go to why 1 month ago they were in the Kyiv region, they tried to block the Kyiv, now they are going out. I don't understand the Russian strategy. In one side, the Western media said that the Russia lose this war, that they are going there out because they are losing. It's not logic. How it is possible that the Russia lose war with Ukraine? So maybe there is something other, that they want to go to fight in the Mariupol. But few days ago, Macron, he make a demission for the guy who is responsible for the military intelligence stuff, the guy who the wywiad francuski, because they didn't predict that this war. So, but it's complicated. I am, as you see, I am reading the things for the election, and the most important thing now is election, which interests me. There and the war in Ukraine, from this perspective of the election, is everybody are agreed that they are again that the Putin is a bad guy, and this war is not good, blah blah blah. And there is a comrade who explained these things with this French CFA. The former colonies have to pay a colonial debt. France can automatically confiscate the African country's national reserve. This is something which it's when somebody say, "Oh, it's these things which happened with Russia because the sanction against Russia, it means that the reserve of the Russia in the European Union was confiscated." But it is not the first time when the European country confiscated their reserve. They have a lot of experience with this, which they made before. For example, they made it a few years ago against Venezuela. That all the gold which were in London, they confiscate and give it to come on, Guaido, Juan Guaido. Now they forgot about Juan Guaido because now Biden need the oil from the Venezuela, so they starting to say that Maduro is the democratic leader. Okay, comrades, I think that it was only presentation about this election. Natalie Artaud will have her meeting, which will start soon, and I think that I will watch this meeting. As you see, and this meeting will start and in 3 p.m. 3 p.m. and there are another meetings. So my prediction is that if Fabien Roussel he will stop his campaign. He will stop his campaign. It is possible that Jean-Luc Mélenchon he will be in the second round, and it will be very interesting second round. If not, in the second round will be Marine Le Pen. And I think that with Marine Le Pen, it will be very not interesting because all the media will start to shout, "Oh, we need to stop fascism. We need to defend the European Union, blah, blah, blah." Everybody against Marine Le Pen. So Macron, he will be very happy if the second round will be with Marine Le Pen, because against Marine Le Pen, the last sondage said shown that it is 54 to 46, so it is not big difference, but he will win with Marine Le Pen. With Jean-Luc Mélenchon, he can lose, especially today when we have this inflation and the growing prices. And Mélenchon, in this book, wrote something interesting, how to stop inflation. Okay, comrades. These comrades make a lot of things. I will only publish all these comments. France forces African countries to give preference to French interests and companies in the field of public procurement and public bidding. 5. France claims an exclusive right to supply military equipment and training to African military officers. France claims a right to deploy troops and intervene in the African country to defend France's interests. The African countries are obliged to make French the official language of the country and of the education. It is something which I am not agree with Jean-Luc Mélenchon, because Jean-Luc Mélenchon he is very, very he defended this French language and blah blah blah. France former colonies are forced to use the colonial currency. It is this question which I said before. The African countries are obliged to send France an annual balance and reserve report. The African countries are prohibited from entering into any military alliance. And it is hypocrisy that in one side France is against that any African country go to any military alliance, and in the same time they say the Ukraine is the independent country. Ukraine, if wants to choose NATO, it's right to Ukraine to choose NATO. It is democratic. It is 100% of the hypocrisy. And the African countries are obliged to ally only with France during a situation of war of global crisis. Uh, mm, okay, so thank you, comrades. I think that the Monday evening after election, I will make my comment to the election. So see you, comrades, and I hope that Mélenchon will go to the second round.